Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Happy New Year. Welcome to the first episode, the first recording of 2025 for the Trudge Report podcast. This is a recovery-based podcast, but don't worry, if you're not sober or still a little hungover from the New Year's festivities, we talk about plenty of other things, including sports, trending topics, quite a bit of nonsense. My name is Shawn, and I am your host. I'm joined by two of my good friends tonight, Corey and Greg. Please remember to listen on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Our videos will still be posted each week, so you can watch episodes on YouTube and Facebook. Please throw in the comments for Corey to start making some clips. Let's get on them, people. Let's see. Please be sure to download on your listening platforms. Remember to like and subscribe on all social media outlets with the handle @TrudgeReportPod. We are brought to you by the wonderful Stella Mix Podcast Management and our wonderful producer and editor, Miss Janine Stella. Gentlemen, it's 2025. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a huge year. Give me one, Greg. Huge.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be the hugest year in all the years past.
Love it. Inauguration Day is coming up. NFL playoffs are coming up.
Yes.
I'm here with 2 out of 3 of my good buddies. Bill is under the weather. He sends his regards. He said he wanted me to say it right away that his goal, his hope, his dream for 2025 was Steelers winning the Super Bowl by way of beating the Ravens along the way. So, which will start this weekend, actually. But Corey, let's go to you first, sir. How are you? Happy New Year. Talk to me, Bama.
What? Talk to me who?
Bama. It's from a movie.
Oh. I'm good. I'm watching the first Monday Night Raw currently on Netflix. The first one on Netflix. And
same.
It's been pretty electric. You guys are gonna have to put up with that tonight. I know Greg's watching it too.
I am definitely not watching it.
John Cena.
Nostalgic.
Yeah, it's nostalgic. But John Cena is out here doing some promo that means nothing, like he always does, because that's been his gimmick for the last 10 years at least. Anyway, I got a couple things to tell you guys, I think. No. Yeah, maybe one or two. So, number one, actually, I'm not even going to go into it, but like, go Birds. Number two, dude, I'm taking an American government class.
Nice.
I find that fascinating for myself.
I always loved that kind of history.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably run for office.
Do you remember do you remember who Swamp Fox is? Francis Marion, Swamp Fox? Yes. That was like my favorite story growing up in history. You don't remember that, Corey?
What the hell is that?
Fox. Swamp Fox was like in the American Revolution. He was basically, I guess, Greg, would you call him like the first Green Berets? I think so.
I mean, essentially, they didn't exist then.
They were like special forces, basically.
Brigadier general or something like that, yeah.
Him and his dudes they'd hide in the, what do they call them? The gully suits, like camouflage in the woods and stuff, and just as like the enemies were going by, and like jump out of trees and jump from ditches and just slit throats, and they were badasses, dude. And his name was Swamp Fox. Rightfully so, and he had his boys. His name was Francis Marion. I think I have that name correct.
Yes,
it's my favorite history lesson of all time.
So you're not talking about Mel Gibson and The Patriot?
No.
All right.
No.
Great movie.
No.
Yeah, dude. But so I'm doing that, and other than that, it's been 24 hours without Pornhub in Florida, and I haven't. As you can tell. I'm not taking care of myself anymore. I'm just falling apart.
God bless you, man.
So actually, never mind. I was going to keep it off the pod.
Okay.
I'll keep it off the pod. Sorry, listeners.
It's good. It's an excellent research tool, and I just feel sad that your constitutional rights as a red-blooded American male are being trampled upon.
How else are you gonna find out how not to get stuck in dryers and things like that?
True.
Weird.
Do you guys remember I'm sure Greg does, the movies Major League, Major League 2, the baseball movies? Okay, with Rick the Wild. Do you remember the second one with Rube Baker, the catcher that couldn't throw the ball back to the pitcher? And the only way to combat it, he used to read porno magazines and but he would read the bios of the women, not even the pictures. He would read the bios of like what they were into, their hobbies, and he would have to like recite those out loud as he was throwing it back to the pitcher. And like there was a couple scenes where the batter's like looking at him and he's like, yeah, Francis whatever likes horseback riding and and she gets her. It was hilarious. Great movies.
Indeed.
Great movies.
The only other thing I can think of right now is the fact that I don't know if you guys have noticed, but radio silent on the front of the New Jersey drones. I don't think that anything came of that.
Well, no, nothing public is. I listened to a very, very interesting podcast, and I won't plug it too much. More will be revealed, but it's by a guy who actually is a former Green Beret, and he has a podcast, and he was having some guys on, and they were talking about some pretty crazy stuff, if true. So it kind of definitely gets into the whole conspiracy theory territory there. So that's why I'm not sure if I quite want to go into it, but yeah. Suffice to say that those could belong to a foreign country, and they certainly have the capabilities of launching those from a submarine somewhere in the Atlantic. So,
well, I guarantee they were made by a foreign country, at the very least.
Yes,
I mean it'll say it right on there, made in China. So, yeah. So, we'll find out when I run for office after this class. So,
deal.
Very good. Very good.
Deal.
Yeah.
Greg, how are you?
Very good, man. Very good. Just getting back into the swing of things. Weird having the holidays dead smack in the middle of the week, man. I mean, we've had them before, but I just, not in recent memory, and made going back to work just kind of weird, man. I was back to work for a day and a half, then off for 2, back for a day and a half, off for 2 more. Like, yeah, so today is the first full day back, and kind of just getting back into the swing of things and getting refocused and goaled up and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you guys had a good holiday with your families. I know I did. Lots and lots of good food and good times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I went to Pennsylvania for a week, and it was really cold up there. Really, really cold. I have a newfound respect for 25 degrees and sunny as opposed to 8 degrees. Like 25 is nothing when the wind's not blowing and it's sunny.
When the sun's
25
out,
is fine.
Yeah, I'll be shoveling in a
windy
t-shirt, dude. I don't care. Yeah.
But I had a fantastic time. Oh, I got to tell this. All right. So God, I don't even know how many episodes ago, 10, 15. I don't even remember the topic, but it had something to do with pet peeves. Do you guys remember
what grinds my gears?
Yeah. When I said when my wife will lotion herself up and then grab the deodorant stick, right? And then I go to grab it, it's all lotiony. So I open a gift from I guess she's my aunt-in-law, my wife's aunt. And there was a gift for me and a gift for Catherine, my wife. And she said, you both got to open these at the exact same time. Shawn, you'll see why. And we open it, and she got me my own stick of deodorant and Catherine her own, because Catherine always just uses my Old Spice. And she says, because I watched the pod, not that episode specifically. So I thought that was really cool. I had no idea she listened. Then I had to tell her, like, you may want to lay off episode like 45 and 46. It got a little out there. But nonetheless, I was touched and I was very flattered that her and her husband, Uncle Mario, who's a really cool dude as well, and Aunt Terry. Shout out to Aunt Terry and Uncle Mario. Just have to say that. I thought that was cool.
Nice.
Sometimes I get like embarrassed, like not by anything specifically, but like when I realize that people do listen to it.
Just in general,
I'm like, oh my God, I've said some dumbass shit on there. And
yeah,
I don't get embarrassed about anything.
I regret it all.
Wait till you're married and you have in-laws.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't care about my own family. Like, I don't care about my own family.
I don't know if they listen religiously, but her mom's listened to us before, so we're good.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I gotta get my shit together.
Hopefully not episode 40. Not just kidding.
I don't know.
No, just skip. Go from 44 to 47. Just skip.
Did we get any cool gifts? Anybody? I know the dads always kind of get left out. Do we get anything cool for Christmas or what?
I got some
What did I
stuff.
get?
I got a bunch of gift cards. I can truly honestly say like I don't know. I have no desire. I have no like need or want for that kind of stuff. But I did get a lot of gift cards and I got some thoughtful gifts. I'll say that. I definitely got some thoughtful gifts and but nothing like earth shattering, you know.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, when asked, I'm like, I don't want anything, but that's kind of how it goes. But
that's what I get
cool
told
stuff
all the time is that I'm super hard to shop for, and it's just like I don't have a want for anything.
Buy anything I really actually want.
Yeah,
But I will say this: I know I sent you boys a picture, and no free plugs, but here it is. Manscaped, the Manscaper collection, dude, game changer. My girlfriend got
free
me
plug. They're sponsoring.
Too many things going on.
a lawnmower, a weed whacker, and whatever the nose trimmer is. Total game changer, boys. I'm cleaned up and feeling great. They are phenomenal products.
She's smart because that's more for you or for her than it is for you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. She's
smart.
she's on it. She's on it, dude. Yeah. And everything works phenomenal. I will say that I didn't notice or know didn't really think like necessarily they were going to be that much of different. Like what's the difference between that and like the $20 Remington that you buy at Walgreens or something like that? No, there is a very distinct difference. So.
Just don't mix them up, dude. Don't use the one for your face, and vice versa.
They come in 3 separate cases. They got 3 separate little
don't
things.
Mix them up.
It's very yeah.
I will have to say I got a very extremely generous and thoughtful gift from my mother-in-law. Shout out to Lynn, Catherine's mom. It was pretty cool. It was a really cool one, but I just had to shout her out. I can't actually share what it is, so I apologize. But I know I kind of left it hanging, but I have to at least acknowledge her.
Suzanne and Peter, my mom and stepdad, got us both a very, very nice gift as well, and that requires passports. So
cool, very cool.
Yeah,
and they got you a third one for me.
Yeah, Corey, we're gonna put Corey in a bag of luggage. So
yeah,
fine.
But it was good. New Year's around here was quiet.
Same.
Went out to dinner with the girls and Catherine early in the evening. Went to my recovery group, which is on a Tuesday, and then I did go have a nice time with Corey and our buddy Tyler at Flanagan's real quick after that. Watched a little state game.
He got a Snickerdoodle Daddy or some shit.
Which is what all the girls.
That sounds delicious.
Which is what all the girls call me, Snickerdoodle Daddy. At least the 3 in my household. And then I came home and watched. My wife and I like to watch all the New Year's Eve shows on TV, like the Andy Dick or whatever his name is, Rockin' New Year's Eve, and the Nashville Cohen? Andy. No, it's not Andy Cohen, is it? It's Andy.
Andy Cohen with Anderson Cooper or whatever.
No, it wasn't that. I don't know. But we like that one and the Nashville one. We just like to watch them and make fun of all the performers and famous people and stuff. I will say, maybe a hot take, maybe not. I think Jelly Roll's overrated. I don't think he's he's not that talented of a singer. Listen, I love his whole persona. I think
his persona. Cool, that's what it's.
But he's really like, he's not that talented of a singer.
Well, I don't think he's overrated. I don't think anybody thinks of him as like a great singer, but he's a very good songwriter.
I don't know. Post Malone, on the other hand,
Jesus,
fucking
Shawn,
genius, dude.
Are you kidding me?
Awesome. I think he's awesome. I don't know what it is.
All over.
He looked like a freaking Native American. I was wild on.
I was not on the Post Malone train until I saw him in concert, and he
is talented.
Completely changed my mind.
He can do any genre. He really, truly can. I'm not like a fan of his rap music, like, because I'm not a fan of rap in general. But he can legit.
I don't think he's a fan of it.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. He can. Thank you, Janine. Shout out to Janine. He can literally span any genre: rock and roll, country, rap. blues. Like he's talented, dude.
I'm
He's
not
a
really trying to
talented
hate
dude.
on him, but how you just dog Jelly Roll and then go, I love Post Malone though.
Because Jelly Roll's the talent levels like Jelly
Oh,
Roll can't.
God.
I don't think he. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And you know what? This Jelly Roll, if you're listening, I know you will one day.
He's probably in tears.
I
'cause
know
he's
you
so
will.
sensitive.
No. This is a call to you to span your genres. Like show us what else you can do.
Well, he was a rapper.
His songs all sound the same.
He was a rapper.
They all sound the same. But anyways, that's what we did. Quiet New Year's Eve.
So. Yeah, same.
Right. We did nothing. I came home after that, Shawn and Gabby was playing Mario Kart, and I think I read some of my book.
What are you reading?
I cooked some ribeyes and risotto and scallops. It was delicious.
That's beautiful. I don't read often, but one of the things that I suggested for a Christmas gift for myself was inspired by Greg's Ed and Lorraine Warren talk. And it's a book about the Warrens and their cases and stuff.
Nice.
So I've been enjoying it so far. It is called The Demonologist, I think, right?
Okay.
Demonologist? Yeah.
Was it written by Ed or
no? It was written about them by I think George Brittle is his name.
Cool.
It's not sitting in front of me. I can't remember.
I listen. That might be a good segment, future segment. Talk about some books, man, because I enjoy reading. I do it quite a bit, but like not enough still.
I don't.
I guess quite a bit is a relative term. I have it by my bed, and it takes me a few months, but I finish a book and I'll get a new one, and I'll go through spurts where it's like 3, 4, 5, 6 nights in a row. I'll read every night, and then I won't touch it for like 2 weeks for whatever reason. Usually when there's like really good sports on, I won't touch it for a while because I'm up late watching those. But I think reading. I love reading. So
I wish I did more of it, but I've just never been a reader.
Yeah,
unfortunately, but I do like this.
It's
book.
a good way to settle down at night and not watch the phone with the screen time and all that. It's a really, really good way to.
Well, that's my struggle.
Down, so
that's my struggle these days.
Isn't it like for everyone? Really,
yeah. It's kind of sad
for the most part.
I never wanted to become a zombie.
It's what we've become.
Well, I fall asleep on the couch most nights too, watching TV or watching the game. So I will usually just get up. So that saves me from. I don't know if that's. I mean. I think the TV screen is slightly better than the blue screen, the cell phone screen. But
my phone gets put across the room. I plug it in to its charger. It's across the room. I don't even look at it for the.
That's good.
Like a deal I have with myself.
That's good. So
speaking of
which, because we're kind of talking about like some things we kind of want to change, some things we're kind of trying to do better. Our topic tonight, brought to you by Yeti. No, I'm just kidding. Is we want to do a 2025 goals segment, goals podcast. And what I mean by that, and I'm slightly ripping this from another podcast I listened to, which will remain nameless, but it's a great idea. So one of our recovery textbooks talks about we make many resolutions, but never a decision, right? And I'll never forget reading that for the first time, thinking like, the whole joke of the New Year's resolution, and by week 2 of the new year, a lot of people have failed on, or whatever the case is. We don't want this to be New Year's resolutions. Although, if you're listening, that's what you want to call it. You feel free to call it whatever. We want to make it a goals podcast, and so I asked each of you to come up with 3 to 5 goals. But honestly, you come up with as many or as little as you want. You can be as creative as you want. It really can go any direction with this. But that's what our segment's going to be tonight, and. We'll get right into it. Would you like to start, Greg?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, for sure. And I like what you said. Where you pulled that quote, because it does remind me. It's like I've made a lot of resolutions in my life.
I'm not going to cuss. I'm not going to watch Pornhub.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to fricking happen.
But yeah, goal setting is very important for a guy like me, for sure, and certainly what we do in recovery. And it's all about where the resolution part comes in. I think is in your mind, right? Like, am I resolute daily to keep those goals at the forefront of my mind and to make sure that I'm putting that stuff into action? So, for me, certainly. As far as a physical level, like I've put a lot of work into my health and my fitness over the last year. Down a bunch of weight. I want to. Right now, I'm kind of like sitting at a steady weight right now, and we're going to start a muscle building program here soon. But yeah, I just want to continue to get healthy. I'm not out here trying to be a bodybuilder or anything like that, you know. I do realize that none of us are getting any younger, and I want to try and be the healthiest I possibly can be, going into the ripe old age of 41, or actually going to be 42 this year. So, yeah, yeah. So, going to try and stay as young as possible. And as physically fit as possible. So, and that includes, you know, eating better, which you know, I've already started, or I've been doing for the better part of a year. But you know, keep trying to build on a good diet, lots of raw foods, and you know, not processed kind of stuff. And you know, I just feel better. You know, so there's that. I'll save one of my goals kind of a little bit for the later part of our podcast, because we're going to discuss some stuff concerning that topic. So I don't want to, you know, repeat myself too much. But you know, certainly for something that you guys were just talking about, and something that I kind of said to myself was, I'm a big fiction reader. Like, I like to read fiction. I like to, you know, read spooky stuff. I like to read, you know, pretty much anything. You know, I love a good murder mystery or a good thriller, and so I have no problem reading that stuff and kind of like diving into it. And I'll pound through a book in a week, you know. But I do kind of slack on the nonfiction kind of stuff. So that was something I saw a couple lists the other day, and I kind of compiled some books, and it's basically like, these are books you should read as a man, you know. And so I compiled a list of 20 books, and I went the other day, actually, because I had to get my passport stuff done and applied for. So I was at the library, and I got a library card for the first time in many years, and I got the first book off the list. So we're starting with this bad boy right here. It's called The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And it is it's like an ancient book. It was written a long time ago, by a Taoist monk. So I'm eager to I've made it through the forwards, but yeah, I'm gonna, again, that's that deal that I have with myself every night, is like, you know, if I'm gonna kind of start winding things down at 9:30, 10 o'clock, like, the phone gets plugged in, gets put across the room, and that's what I'm gonna do. Is, you know, I'll shut the TV off and just read until I'm ready to go to sleep. So, you know, but yeah, I'm gonna knock out these books. And you know, there's a lot of different stuff on the list, you know. That's just one of many. That's more of a philosophical book, but there's you know, different stuff, things about being a good leader, and good leader of a household, and how to be a good role model, and you know, how to get, you know, better financial independence and things like that. So I'm kind of excited about it. There's a lot of useful knowledge, and if, you know, I think that's really the key to, you know, the tried and true saying, right? Knowledge is power, right? So try and dust up on that stuff. And then, you know, certainly something just to kind of give back, you know, is just to try and get more involved with some kind of charity organization, I think, this year. I haven't decided which one yet, but there are, thankfully, I live in an area where there's a great wealth of different organizations. So I'm just going to find something that fits me and see what I can do to be of service. So,
Greg, you'll recall I made a bunch of fake cherries when I was 18 working at a Dunkin' Donuts. If you want any of those,
yep, perfect.
I can share some of that with you.
Yeah.
Very good. I like it.
You can write a fat check to Scott's Tots.
Ooh,
Okay.
a good deed done indeed.
Yeah.
I like it, Greg. Corey, I know you prepared all week for this.
No, unfortunately, I didn't. I know it's not like me. I could definitely ditto a few of the things Greg said, so I will just say that. I will say I'm proud to not be somebody who went to the gym on New Year's Day for the first time in years and only New Year's Day. However, if that's what you got to do, good for you. But you know, I'm glad I'm not that guy this year. I purposely avoided it actually.
Mine wasn't that bad.
I don't know.
I was very surprised. Mine was not that bad.
I was like, I'm not going. I'm not going on New Year's Day. I'm not doing it. But yeah, I mean, I got some fitness goals. I got a certain number in my head I wanna get to and stuff, and so that'll be fine. Greg had alluded to finances, I believe. That and we're gonna talk more about that pretty soon. I will say that well, we'll talk about it, but I have a certain number in my head I want to save this year. So that's a and Shawn, to you guys already said it, but like this stuff that I'm talking about, like I've made it a point to not call them resolutions, you know. I in fact, in one of our group chats, one of our buddies asked us what our resolutions were, and I'm careful with how I even word it, you know. I basically
were they being serious?
I think I think that was a serious conversation, right, Greg?
I believe so.
But like, you know,
because most of the guys you're in a group thread with are very unserious characters.
That is correct. But it's, you know, it's all about like, I'm going to save this amount of money this year. I'm going to hit this weight this year or stuff like that, you know. And you know, I just try to believe that stuff. But honorable mention here. I want to take my kids to Disney again sometime this year. I have plans. They're in the making, possibly an April trip, but we'll see. Because that's just a very satisfying thing for me. To see them just go ape shit when they see Mickey Mouse and Daisy Duck and whatever. So that's cool.
Daisy Duck.
Yeah, that's Donald's. That's Donald's wife.
Donald's girl.
Okay. Yeah, it's Donald's girl. Two things that are a little unique to myself in this group, I think. One, I just thought of actually. I don't know. I'm certainly not afraid to talk about it on here to our listeners, but I have a felony record.
No way.
I do. I am allowed in the school zone. It's nothing crazy. You know, drug possessions. That's about it. So, but I do have two felony drug possessions on my record from 2015, and coming up here in February, we will begin the process of expungement. So that is a huge goal of mine.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've only ran into a problem literally twice in my entire sobriety. I think that at least that it mattered, you know, that I really wanted something and couldn't have it because I had a record. And it literally just happened when we were looking for a place to live. But that worked out for the best. And some other time. But anyway, doesn't come up a whole lot for me. So like, if you're a felon and you're saying you can't find a job, I call bullshit a little bit. There's avenues. There's help out there to get a job and stuff like that. Hasn't been a big obstacle, but there are a couple things I want to do in life that it would help greatly for. So we're starting that process. Lastly, you'll like this, Shawn. I'm not even saying that it's gonna happen. I'm saying that my goal is to quote unquote shit or get off the pot as far as whether or not I'm going to play music ever again. And I know that doesn't necessarily have to
do
be
it.
like I know that doesn't have to be a like, you know, if it's not working out right now, I'll never play music again. But in my mind, it is. It's like, no, it's been long enough. You're either going to do something, and I don't care what something is either. I really don't.
Yeah.
But you're going to do something, or you're going to shut the hell up. And Because, okay, let me explain, because I'm going to make this quick. The reason I'm saying this matters so much as far as like actually taking a path here is because I get in my head about it. And it's somewhat torturous to me. I get very sad about it sometimes because I don't know. Like I moved to Florida, and then some years later I realized that a lot of my friends didn't even know that I played music, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" It used to be like part of my identity, like that's just who I was. I play music, and so I don't know. It just, and then life and stuff and whatever. So I never got back into it really, but yeah, man, I'll get really sad about it sometimes. So I want to either get on it and do something, or I want to get it the hell out of my head once and for all, because I don't want to be sad about it. So
I'm not a musician. I love music. I'm not a musician, so I try for the love of God, and I think I might be able to equate that to something in my life that I love. But like, when you say play music, like, just play for us. No, just fucking pick it up and start playing for us. If nothing else, you don't have to like go on tour. But why is that so torturous? Like what? Like,
so there's two things that I would do. Well, there's different forms of them, but the two things I would want to do is start playing live again, and nothing crazy, obviously, like just wherever I could play live, I'd play live, whatever that means, whether that's full band or what have you, or I would start recording again, because that's all I used to do is record, and I wasn't great at it, but I was a teenager that was learning, and some things came out fine. I once smoked. I'm just gonna say it. I once smoked crack for about 2 days, and recorded a song, because I was gonna record it for my ex-girlfriend that left me because I was smoking crack, and I was going to rehab that week, so I had to get that song done so I could leave it for her so she would take me back, and I stayed awake or at least mostly, for 2 days. Nice. Recording the song, and then I went to rehab, and then I got back from rehab 30 days later, and I listened to it. That was a mistake. That fucker got scrapped. It was bad. So anyway,
you gotta find that, dude. You gotta find.
Oh no, that's gone. That never saw the light of day.
Do you still have a writing of it?
I know the song. The song got re-recorded, but that take was bad, real bad.
I think you should do it. I support you. I love when my friends play music. I think it's the greatest thing
anything like the Adam Sandler song from The Wedding Singer?
Oh, that's way better. Is that the one that's like, somebody kill me, please?
Yeah.
Yes. Also, honorable mention of whatever, but Mommy is champion again on WWE. Acknowledge now, Mommy, buddy.
That's right.
Yep. Anyway, those are my goals. Sean.
Losers, huh? Cool.
And then and just saying, like, spiritually and stuff, I have goals too, but I just felt like that.
You can't talk about those though, because it totally like negates the whole thing.
I'm not doing it.
All right. I am going to break par this year in golf. That's like a legit goal for me, attainable. I've come really, really close. You guys know what that means, right? When I say that?
Absolutely
not.
Okay.
It's
shoot
like
under par.
Shoot under par, yeah. Let me say this. I can't shoot under par until I shoot even par. So I'm going to my goal is going to be even par or better in the year 2025. I have come very close.
Is that a serious question or no?
No, what? I'm dead serious when I say. So like when
you go to a golf course, right? And like hole 1, it would be like a par 4, meaning that you need to, like, if you make it into the hole in 4 shots, you are at par.
That's your expectation.
Less than Correct. 4 is like a birdie would be under par. So basically, Corey, most golf courses add up to 72. Par is 72 roughly.
Okay.
Some are 70, some are 73. Most are 70 to 72. You can get some shorter courses that are 68, 60, whatever. I'm talking about on a real par 70 or better. Shoot even par or better. And I've shot 1 over a few times, 2 over, 3 over. I've come very close. I've shot under par on a 9-hole stretch, but like been like 4 over on the other 9. So I'm trying to think like I'm trying to equate it to a football thing that you might, but there really isn't, because golf is just that unique. But yes, but it would be a major accomplishment. Most like 90 something percent of amateur golfers never even break 80. You know what I mean? And I'm shooting I'm pretty consistently in the 70s. So that's a goal. I want to, and we can talk more about this in the next segment, but I want to finish the year making more money than I did starting the year, whatever that looks like. I'm leaving that open ended. Whether it's getting a side gig or a raise or a new position, whatever it is. I want my annual net income or growth, whatever, my annual gross income to be bigger than 2024. That's a goal. I want to go down 1 pant size. And I think about this a lot. I was going to say 10 pound, this and that, but like, that's so like arbitrary. Like I want like, I'm like a 38 waist right now. I could probably fit into some that are 36, some that are 40, but essentially I'm a 38. I want to go to a 36. Like I want to, and I know that's maybe not even that big of a stretch, but I'm also not like getting on any crazy diet or like crazy workout regimen. I might if I want to, but that's not part of it. I just want to take a little bit better care of myself. I'm already active enough. I play pickleball, I play golf, I do go to the gym. I am active enough. So I know it won't be that big of a stretch, and I'm not really looking to like really chisel up. I just want to just shed a few. And I thought, instead of saying like 10 pounds, I want to, because the poundage can go, I know that can fluctuate, but I want like a waist size to go down a little bit. I don't know. That was something I thought about.
When you lose a waist size or two, it gets a little crazy, man. Like I dropped down from like a 44 to a 38 in like and dude, nothing fits.
I want to be right. Like, that's where I was going with it. Like I want to like say, oh, I have to go buy new clothes now.
Right.
Because of that. So,
but like you go to like in my mind, like I didn't even think about it. So it's like, oh yeah, I got something nice to wear to this one event, and then I go to put slacks on, and like the belt won't even. I can't even cinch a belt. They're just, I'm swimming in them, dude.
Right. So that's one of my goals, and my wife and I have talked about like just eating cleaner. You know what I mean? And so, which brings me to my next goal. Like we cook. There's some nights we don't, like she's out tonight, and some nights we'll get takeout or whatever. Like we got Chinese last night, but I want to cook, and I don't just mean like hamburgers or something simple, a new recipe or an intricate recipe, but pretty much new once a month. So like 12 for the year, 1 a month. It'll be, and she's probably going to do like another, you know what I mean? She'll do it too. So that'll be twice a month for both of us. Just a new recipe, something that we haven't made before, kind of experiment a little bit. I know my way around the kitchen well enough that I can follow a good recipe and stuff like that. I too have a reading goal, and it's 1 a month, 1 book a month, 12 for the year. Something attainable, but something that kind of keeps just keeps it fresh. I don't really have a number for this on times, but like early on in our relationship, Catherine and I we would go in the mornings, early mornings, and like meditate, and like usually go to a recovery group. And we may not be able to do that anymore, but we were talking like how, like when we meditate at home together, some mornings, on mornings that we don't have, we're both home or both available, or we don't have to leave right away, but we wanted to get out and just get back to that, whether it's right here at the park where the basin is by us, or to our downtown area on the water, or something like that. We want to kind of get back to that, and that's going to be a tough one because with the kids in school and all that. But the kids go to school early enough, and my work schedule is flexible enough, and she has days off during the week that I think we can manage it. I think we can really put effort into that and manage it. And then, my last one was I want to do 3 like household projects over the year, whether they're fixing something or building something or whatever, or adding something onto the house, nothing like wild, I'm not like putting on a new, I'm not like tearing down any walls and making anything new, but like I want to get a new tree house out in the backyard for the kids. The one we have is it's just old. it's just crickety, and every time the neighborhood kids play on it, I'm like, oh God, I hope they don't like crumble on them and die and lawsuit and all that. So I wanted like something like that. I have a few other like little things, just so I want to do the three of those, which I know isn't like a crazy amount. Like, I know, Greg, you do a lot of stuff around the house, and I know you're a lot more handy. But I've surprised myself ever since I became a father. I really surprised myself just how capable of some of this stuff I actually am, with a good YouTube video and just literally some patience. And I'm really good at following instructions and directions. Like I'm not even being facetious. I'm really good at that. So
YouTube is a lifesaver, man, especially when it comes to doing stuff around the house. But
100%. Greg, you'll be happy to know that I'm still cutting my own grass. I did it today.
God.
Although I got to be honest with you, dude, as it gets hotter and hotter, I probably will take the summer off and hire someone. But I do take good pride. Like I do enjoy getting it edged up nicely and just it's very satisfying. I like the cut patterns, like I'm cutting the outfield of a baseball diamond. I do get into it, but those are my goals. I don't know. I think, like I said, we'll tap this one in the memory bank and come back to it in 2026, and we'll talk about it. I think I'd like to start. If the Lord blesses us with continuing this podcast year after year, I think it'd be fun to revisit it on the first of every month or of every year, and set some new goals for the upcoming year, and revisit the ones from the old year, and kind of make fun of each other a little bit and see what we did, see what we didn't do. So very good. As I said, Bill's only one was I missed a line there. He said Steelers Super Bowl by way of beating the Ravens and the Eagles, which means, Corey, at least you're getting to the Super Bowl is what that means in his mind. But you're losing.
I would like that.
Take your chances, right?
I would like that. Yeah.
Take your chances.
I just want a few more weeks of football. That's all.
I'm not even going to do it because I was going to call Bill out on something with his Steelers team, but I'm not going to do it because he's not here, and that's not right. I'll wait till he's here.
That's the best time to
No, I'll wait till he's here in face. I'll wait till he's here in person. So we hope Bill gets better.
Well, who knows? Because by the time we see him next, they're probably going to be bumped out of the playoffs.
They could be. Yeah, they could be. So, all right. So that's going to roll us right into our recovery segment, which it is recovery based, but it's slightly different. We want to talk about financial recovery and how we manage our finances and money goals and stuff like that as sober people in recovery, which is vastly different from how we all managed our finances prior to sobriety. But just some tips for people maybe in early sobriety, or maybe they're sober a little while and they're trying to get their financial life back on track. I think we all kind of run it from different gamuts of life. So we'll just circle right back around. We'll go Greg first.
I mean, I guess to start, it was when I came down to Florida in 2016 to get sober. I had nothing. I had maybe 20 some bucks in the bank account, and I had no, I was 32 years old. I had saved nothing. I had spent everything. I had squandered everything, including every cent of my 401k was gone. I mean, I had nothing, right? And so I had to learn how to build that all back, and it took years and years. It at first is just living. I won't even call it paycheck to paycheck. When I first moved or came out of treatment and went into a sober living community and whatnot, like I had to go work day labor for a little while until I got an actual full-time job. I had to basically turn my paychecks over to the staff there. And they were like daily paychecks that went on a little card or whatever, and I had to like pay them essentially daily until everything was squared away. So I had to start from scratch. But yeah, I when I bought my first car in recovery, well, I should say I bought a car cash off of one of our good friends. Shout out Joey T. That car lasted me a little while, and that was probably several months into sobriety. Bought that, but when I went to go get my actual like first like car loan, I had to go to a buy here pay here place in South Florida there and get like just bent over on an interest rate because my credit score was 440 at the time. Yeah, I just, like I said, I didn't know how to save money. I didn't know how to really stand on my own 2 feet. I remember actually, talking with Shawn pretty early on, is like, how do you do this? Like I just had to, like, very much like recovery, I had to just give it all up and ask other people how they did it and be open to suggestion and take a step back and realize, like, I was, this mid 30-year-old dude that had no idea how to save anything, and like I had to be taught, and I even remember, like, Shawn, you talked about, he's like, he said something to the effect of, like, it's kind of a game I play with myself. Like I get on there and I check my bank account every day and I see it's a game to myself, like how much more I can build in there, and that was it was a very good stepping stone to just start, but yeah, I mean, how quickly it all starts coming back when you start focusing on doing the right things, getting your credit in order. Nobody ever really taught me about credit. It wasn't a thing that or maybe I just didn't care to learn, one of the two. But thankfully I've been able to build that back for myself. I remember I felt such a huge achievement the first time that I had opened up my bank account and there was like $10,000 in there, and that's not to like toot my own horn or anything like that. It's just, but that to me, like, that was huge. Like, because you ask most, normal people, and it's just like, yeah, bro, like I had that when I was 23 years old, and whatever. Not me. I never had that.
Same.
So like, to be able to look at that and see that and just like, holy crap, and like, let's just keep building on it. And yes, those things have fluctuated over time, but what's important to me today, and again, another goal that I have, like, I have some big expenditures, some big life stuff, hopefully on the horizon this year and into the next, and I am I'm stacking for those, so I need to start. I know I can't live as frivolously as I have over the past several years. I know that concerts might be a little bit tighter this year.
Well,
and
just
things
throw
like,
it on credit and call it.
Are you big life change? Are you transitioning into a woman?
No.
But if you were, that would be totally
make it
fine,
really,
right?
you'd make it
I was
really
going to
hot
say,
woman.
I think that'd be
Not that there's anything wrong with
charges.
that. No, I'm just kidding.
Obscenity charges would fall. on that, but
Sean literally admitted in a group chat earlier that he was a young lady once.
he did say that. That was a little weird.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's and it kind of goes along with what we were talking about, like, as far as Christmas stuff, was like, to me nowadays, man, the material things don't matter as much. I want to save money. I want to build for the future.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that the people in my life that I love and care about are taken care of the best I can. I want to be a provider. I want to be a good leader of a household. And so I go back to this quote a lot. I heard this quote several years back, and it still rings true. It's by some guy named George Lorimer, whoever that is. It's good to have money and the things that money can buy, but it's good to check up once in a while and make sure that you haven't lost the things that money can't buy. So, that's what's important to me.
Solid, dude.
And yeah, it's again, man, like the benefits of recovery will just keep occurring if you're doing the right stuff, and
Right.
the financial freedom I've experienced today. Do I have it all? No, but do I have enough to fill my cup every day? Absolutely.
Sure.
So
Sure. Very nice. Love it. All right, Corey.
All right, Shawn.
Are you transitioning into being a woman?
That's
No.
one of the goals I didn't want to share on here, but okay. Thanks, Shawn. No. Yeah, Greg, I like a lot of what you said, man. And you know, I got sober as a 19-year-old. I hadn't even filed taxes yet. Like, literally hadn't filed. Like, that was the first year I filed taxes. I had to do it in like my IOP's like computer room. Or like, actually, I didn't even do it myself. I sent the stuff to my uncle, and he did it. And I got like a minuscule amount back because I had only worked for 2 months on the books before I lost that job. So it was just, it was that's the one thing I always say about how I got sober. Like, like yes, I destroyed relationships and stuff like that, like all the stuff that we do. But in a lot of ways, I hadn't even built a life yet. Like, I didn't have a house to lose. I did have a car to lose. You know what I mean? I didn't drain the bank account because there really wasn't one to begin with, stuff like that. So it was, I'm blessed the way it all went, I feel. But, in a lot of ways, I literally just, from 19 on, I was growing up. Before that, I was kind of being weird, but I grew up. So, God, man, I've been. I mean, Shawn used to say it. Shawn used to say that somebody else used to say it. I think that like an alcoholic's always like, God, take my will and my life, take everything, just don't touch my finances or my sex life, and that certainly rang true for me for a long time in sobriety. And man, I feel like I've only just begun to learn. Oh, there's a cat. I've only just begun to learn, like, how to manage finances. And there's a couple different reasons for that. One, somewhere in the last year or so, I've been able to successfully take the power out of money. You know what I mean? Like, it used to mean so much. And like I couldn't figure out how to look at it as just like an avenue for doing life or operating, you know what I mean? And it was like, one, it's a social thing. Like, I got to make sure I go to all the events that all my friends are at. I got to go to every freaking dinner that everybody's at, this, that, and the other thing. And that can get a little weird, especially in like a recovery bubble like we're in, right? Because then it gets like competitive, it gets like ego driven, and not once to this day, it's January 6th, 2025 at 10 o'clock. To this day, I have not had the amount of money to sit here and act like a baller. So I don't know why the hell I've ever been concerned with looking like anything, you know what I mean, as far as financially. But yeah, I mean, this past year I've been able to kind of shift my focus on that. Like I think miraculously I've been able most of the time to give that stuff to God. I've been hearing it for years, like it's God's money, not yours, but I could not internalize that for a long time. And I think I don't think I'm like totally there, but I think I'm really, really getting there finally. And dude, honestly, the one thing that I can offer this podcast right now in saying that is if there's one thing that I can credit for getting me to that point, it's that I had to stop asking God to, take my finances or whatever, blah, 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 get up from that prayer and go spend whatever the fuck I wanted on whatever I wanted.
Yep.
That had to stop, and like, I don't feel like I go without now, but like, I'm not going to every concert on earth if I don't think it's best at this point. You're going to catch me at the Dave shows. Do I need 10 this year? Probably not. And it's not going to happen. I bet you 3 do. I bet you 3 happen. But like, and I'm blessed to be able to do that stuff still. But
Sure.
like the extravagant stuff, as much fun as I've had. I mean, we went to Seattle, Greg, like gotten to do a lot of stuff, but like at where I'm at today, like I think a lot about the future, and not even about building a bank account and like, yes, I want to buy a home and stuff. Like there are those kind of goals too, but like we literally take nothing with us when we die. You know, we take nothing. So really the only thing I can really think like grand scheme goal that I'm building any type of financial wealth for is to leave to my kids and make it a little easier on them. And hopefully they'll make it a little easier on their kids and that kind of stuff, you know. But otherwise, man, this stuff has much less significance than I ever thought it actually did. So that's about it, man. I guess if I can offer anything, like I said, is taking the power out of that idea of money, truly letting God just kind of operate your life with it. And man, I have a budget and I'm a numbers guy to some degree. And my wife can attest, like sometimes I'll be like freaking out about like, okay, this week, whatever. Cause I'm like, I have a number in my head that I want to save this month or whatever. And there's times that I have to like have like a come to Jesus talk with myself and say, settle the fuck down. God's brought you this far.
Right.
And I literally do. I've been practicing that. Like God has worked it all out. You stopped spending on ridiculous shit. He's blessed you with enough plus a little to save. And that's enough. That's enough. So grateful for that.
Very good. I'll close this out here. Corey, just to make you feel any better, I still literally have that same conversation. Like, what do you think God's has brought you this far to like let you just go broke and homeless? Like I just had that conversation with myself the other day, at least a version of it. And I'm not sure, I think what happens is the time I go from worrying about it back to God gets less. Like that's a shorter amount of time over the years. It's not so
Right.
much that I just don't have the fear of financial insecurity or I don't think about that stuff, because I still do, not constantly, but pretty a good amount of times. But I get back to God quicker. Whereas like, let's say in the past, maybe it took me a few days because something financial was on my mind. Now it's like usually within the hour, you know what I mean? If not just a few minutes, like I'll worry about it. As soon as I realize I'm worrying about it, I'll just stop, say a little prayer and like get back to God. So, great stuff by you guys. I think, same thing. My dad always like stressed savings to me. And obviously I didn't do that in my addiction before I got sober at all. But it was like something that I had heard. It was almost like I just knew that was something that I was supposed to do when I got sober. I've always kind of been a minimalist. Like I've never really felt the need for like fancy new stuff. I still don't have the desire for it. I'm kind of like you guys. Like I want my family to be comfortable, right? I'd love for my wife to not have to work one day or work only simply because she wants to a couple days a week, or like she loves photography, like let her venture off and go do her own thing and spend more money on her photography than she actually makes or brings in, but that brings her joy. I'd love for that to happen one day. It's not now. It's probably not for the next few years, but that's the great thing about it. None of us know. We have no idea what God has around the corner for us. Like we have absolutely no idea. This podcast could blow up 6 months from now somehow, and all of a sudden we're all making money. Like that's the beautiful thing about living in God's world, is we absolutely have no idea. And for people like us, as long as we stay sober and try to help the next sick and suffering alcoholic and addict, and like just do the right thing on a daily basis, put more good back into the world than we're taking out, truly we have no idea. And maybe not. Maybe we are just all meant to like work until a certain age and then retire like other people. And that's fine too. Like I think that's the biggest thing. Like I'm pretty content with, would I like to play professional golf one day? Sure, right? But I'm not like, oh, I'm going to be a movie star, you know what I mean? And you know what? Hell, maybe that is around the corner. I don't really know, and I think that's the beautiful thing, like just truly allowing God to do his thing. I know what my purpose is today and probably tomorrow and the next day, like that. Like in the short term, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I know God will open up those doors. I learned about like credit score, like to you guys' point. I don't know if I had good credit, no credit, whatever I had, but I remember, shout out to Irish John, someone who's actually sponsored this podcast. He taught me how to manage credit, like get that $500, like, prepaid credit card or whatever, and start using it. And he said, try to always keep your available credit 2/3 of your limit or higher. Like, and I've definitely gone below that over the year, but like that's something that I try to stick to. I try to stick to that and pay off that amount, whatever I needed to pay off every month to keep it as close to 2/3 available credit or more. And dude, my credit score shot up, like shot up.
Mm-hmm.
Today, my credit card is locked. I don't use it at all. I took everything off of it because I can't stand getting charged interest rates, like on interest charges on purchases. So I have it locked. I have it. It's there. It's completely paid off. The balance is at zero. I have full available credit. Um, and I've done that like multiple times. I've gone back and forth with that. And when I need to put something big on it, I do. And I'll try to pay it off as quick as I can. But it's there. It's for a rainy day. It's a comfort thing. I know it's there. Corey, something you and I talked about years ago is like, stop checking your bank account every 6 hours. It's not going to change that much. Like I'd get on and I'd look at it, and stuff like that. Like let it be. Just like let it be. You were talking about the budgeting thing. Like sometimes if I sit down, the math doesn't seem to make sense, or it doesn't want to make sense on like how much we're bringing in versus how much is this. But back to like God always seems to work it out, and my kids don't go without. You know what I mean? We're very smart. We're very, very frugal with our money. We have both, my wife and I have certain things we do spend. I spend more money on golf than anything else I do as a hobby, just the way it is. She probably spends more money on like her hair and nail, like, stuff like that, her beauty products and all that. But like those are our kind of like, those are our only things. Like that's the only thing I'll like to buy brand new is like golf stuff. And I don't even really do that. Like most of the stuff I have has been given to me, or I bought used, or whatever the case may be, or it's a present. So like there's all kinds of little avenues. Corey, to your point, don't go out to dinner all the time. Don't go out to lunch every day at work. Pack your own lunch, meal prep, buy some stuff. Like there are really and truly like dozens and dozens of ways that we can be smart with our money. I play the same game, Greg. You talked about it. You talked about it to me. Like play that game with yourself. How much money can I save this month? Right? Throw as much as you can in the savings account. If you got to take some back out and put it back in the checking account, fine. Don't worry about it. But like get it into the savings account, or pick a number. I say, I'm going to put this amount in my checking account. The rest is going into savings. I'm going to try to live off this amount in my checking. Obviously, got to take your bills into account if anything's coming out automatically. But I'm going to try to live on this until the next paycheck, and just see if you can do it. Start cutting back. Like you'll be amazed at how like you can find ways. I never thought I'd get so jacked up talking about finances. Maybe I missed my calling, Corey.
Yeah, come on.
Like
join the dark side.
You'll find amazing ways to just save a little bit here and there, and it will add up. Canceling my lawn service, right? Even for, 6-7 months out of the year, I'm saving $100 a month like that, right? Put that towards savings, put that towards something else, put that towards debt, put that towards a vacation. To your point, Corey, you can't go on 12 concerts this year, but you could maybe plan one big one every 2 years, where it's like you make a vacation out of it and you spend that, like there's, and then it's something to look forward to, and it's like you're building up to it. So there's some really cool things. I think anything you can do not to put yourself in debt or any more debt is a big deal. I think debt kills most people, and we don't even realize it's happening. And it's like, it just kind of piles up. So you know,
The easiest way is if you don't have it, don't spend it.
right. Yeah.
know?
Like we got my wife a new car, you know, that we're doing a lease to own thing.
Yeah.
And that was a calculate. Like I had a number. I said, if we can't get the monthly payments under a certain amount, we're not doing it. And she agreed. And we got it $50 less than that. So like that was a big win. And my car, like I'm driving it into the ground. I have no desire to have another car payment until I absolutely have to. And even then, I might buy something used and buy something off my dad. So, but these things, it takes commitment. It helps when you have a partner that is committed to do these things with you. And then when you have kids too, it takes on a whole new perspective of what you want to do for the future and how you want to save. And you think about them and you think about college and marriages and weddings and cars for them or whatever the case may be, braces, anything like that. And it just brings on a whole new perspective. So I know Bill would have had some great stuff to say about this topic. So we'll probably maybe circle back around to this at some point in the not too distant future, or at least give Bill a segment, you know, when he gets back and healthy and if he wants to and stuff like that. We want to hear some more of his goals as well. So I want to thank you guys for being here. You know, 2025 is off to real quick. The New Year's Day, I pulled up to the gas station. I shared this with you guys. And the guy comes out of the gas station and goes, hey, somebody paid for 1 gallon of gas. There's $3 worth of gas on the pump. And he said, go ahead and take it. So I got a free gallon of gas literally the morning of New Year's Day. And I looked up and I said, it's going to be a good year. So happy 2025 to everyone.
You stole.
Shout out to our listeners. I thought it was maybe a drunk person from the night before that just forgot they put money in. Shout out to our listeners. Please like, follow, and share on all socials at Trudge Report Pod. Email us at trudgereportpod@yahoo.com. Send in your mailbag requests for topics, questions, and comments to any of these handles. We got some really cool things we're going to be cooking up for the new year and the new podcast. So please stay tuned. If you have any ideas, we would love to hear some of your ideas. Help us with some topics, whatever you want to talk about. Hell, maybe we'll even bring you on as a guest. Remember, we're here if anyone wants to talk about recovery and our experiences, or if you are struggling with some form of addiction. Thank you again to Janine and Stella Mix Podcast Management. Good night. God bless. And may you trudge the road of happy destiny. We will see you next week. Go Commanders. Go Ravens.